Listen to me. Life will test you in ways you never imagined. It's not the storms outside that will break you, it's the storms inside. The truth is, the world doesn't care about how you feel, it only sees how you act. You can be talented, intelligent, and hardworking, but if you let anger speak for you, if you let frustration make your choices, if you let every insult pull you into a fight, you will lose respect before you even have the chance to earn it. I've seen people throw away relationships, careers, and opportunities because they couldn't hold their tongue for 5 seconds. I've seen leaders fall, families break, and dreams die. All because someone let emotions dictate their actions. Respect is not built on how loud you can shout, but on how calm you can stay when the world is trying to shake you. The moment you control your emotions, you control your life. But the moment your emotions control you, you hand the keys of your future to someone else. So ask yourself, are you going to master your emotions, or will you let them master you? When you truly understand that emotions are fuel, not the driver, your whole perspective on life changes. Emotions are powerful. They are the spark that ignites action, the fire that pushes you forward when logic alone would tell you to quit. But here's the problem. Most people let emotions take the wheel. They let anger drive. They let fear steer. They let excitement floor the gas without checking the road ahead, and then they wonder why they crash. You have to see emotions for what they are, energy. That energy can be used to build or to destroy, to heal or to hurt. Just because you feel something deeply doesn't mean it deserves to control your next step. The moment you put emotions in the driver's seat, you're no longer choosing your path, your impulses are. Emotions should be in the passenger seat, guiding you, giving you power, but never deciding your direction. You decide the destination, you hold the map, and you keep your hands on the wheel. If you don't, life will turn into a ride you never agreed to take. One where you end up somewhere you never wanted to be, all because you let feelings do the thinking for you. The reason many people fail to achieve respect, success, or even peace is because they confuse emotional intensity with strength. They think that feeling something strongly gives them the right to act immediately, but emotional strength isn't about acting on every impulse. It's about having the ability to sit with your feelings without being ruled by them. Imagine a fire. Uncontrolled, it burns down everything in its path. Controlled, it powers engines, warms homes, and lights the dark. That's what your emotions can do if you learn to direct them. Every time you let anger dictate your words, you hand power to someone else. Every time you let fear stop you from trying, you hand opportunity to the unknown. And every time you let joy make you reckless, you risk sabotaging your own progress. The greatest leaders, the most respected people, have one thing in common. They feel deeply, but they act deliberately. They don't deny their emotions, they master them. Think about how many times in your life you've reacted in the heat of the moment and later wished you had waited. A single word spoken in anger can shatter trust. A decision made in fear can trap you in mediocrity for years. A choice made in excitement without thought can cost you everything you've worked for. This is why emotions must be fuel, not the driver. Fuel gives you the energy to move forward, but you must decide when, where, and how to move. When emotions drive, they speed through red lights, take wrong turns, and sometimes even head straight off the cliff. You are the driver for a reason. Your mind was built to evaluate, your will was built to decide, and your emotions were built to energize those decisions. Respect comes to those who can stand in the middle of chaos, feel every wave of emotion hitting them, and still keep the steering wheel steady. When you master this principle, something incredible happens. You stop being easily manipulated. People can no longer push your buttons because you no longer hand them the remote. If anger is your driver, all someone has to do is provoke you and you'll steer straight into trouble. If fear is your driver, all someone has to do is threaten you and you'll slam the brakes on your own potential. But when you keep emotions as fuel, no one can force your direction without your permission. They might try to provoke, pressure, or persuade, but you remain in control. This is where respect is born. People respect those they can't control, those who remain composed even when the world is throwing chaos at them. It's not about being cold or emotionless. It's about using your emotions as tools, not as rulers. This doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. Suppression is dangerous because it builds pressure until it explodes in ways you can't predict. No, the key is awareness. When you feel anger, you acknowledge it. When you feel fear, you name it. When you feel joy, you enjoy it. But you don't let it take over the decision-making process. It's like carrying fuel in a tank. You know it's there, you can use it when needed, but you don't spill it everywhere and light a match. The more aware you become of your emotions, the more you can use them strategically. Anger can give you the energy to stand up for yourself, but only if you control when and how you express it. Fear can sharpen your senses and make you plan better, but only if you don't let it stop you. Joy can inspire creativity and connection, but only if you don't let it blind you to reality. There will be moments in life where the emotions are so strong, they feel like they are in the driver's seat, gripping the wheel, ready to swerve you off the road. Maybe someone betrays you. Maybe you face a sudden loss. Maybe you receive an opportunity you've dreamed about for years. In those moments, your natural instinct will be to react instantly, to do something now. That's when you have to breathe and remember you're still the driver. Emotions can be loud. They can be convincing. They can even feel like the truth. But feelings are not facts. They are signals, not orders. A wise driver listens to the GPS. But if the GPS says turn left into a wall, you don't do it. That's how you must treat your emotions. Listen to them, consider them, but make your own choice. And here's something many don't realize. When you use emotions as fuel, they become stronger, not weaker. You're not killing your passion, you're refining it. Think about a rocket. Its fuel is explosive, but it's contained, directed, and timed perfectly to achieve liftoff. Without control, that same fuel would just cause destruction. Your emotions are the same way. The more you control them, the more they can actually help you reach your goals faster. Controlled passion becomes persistence. Controlled fear becomes caution. Controlled anger becomes courage. Instead of sabotaging you, your emotions start serving you. That's the power of making them fuel instead of the driver. But to get to this level, you have to be intentional about training yourself every day. It won't happen by accident. You have to catch yourself in those moments when your emotions are trying to take over. You have to pause, step back, and ask yourself, if I act on this feeling right now, will it take me closer to who I want to be or further away? That question alone can save you from so many mistakes. It shifts you from reacting to responding, and over time, this habit builds a reputation for you. A reputation of being stable, reliable, and unshakable. People will see you as someone they can trust in any situation because you're not driven by unpredictable feelings, but by steady principles. The truth is, in a world full of people who are quick to react, quick to fight, quick to quit, and quick to boast, the person who can feel deeply yet move deliberately stands out like a giant among children. Respect isn't given to the loudest voice in the room. It's given to the one whose voice still matters when the noise dies down. If you can master the art of letting emotions fuel your journey without ever letting them grab the wheel, you will not only gain respect, you will keep it, because respect is built on trust. And people can only trust someone who remains in control, no matter how wild the storm inside them might be. And that control, that discipline, is the mark of true power. There is a split second between what happens to you and how you respond to it, and that split second could change the entire direction of your life. Most people waste it. They don't even know it exists because they've trained themselves to react instantly, without thought, without clarity, without control. But that pause, that small breath before you react, is where wisdom lives. It's where respect is earned. Anyone can lash out, anyone can clap back, anyone can speak before thinking, but it takes discipline, it takes strength, and it takes self-respect to stop, breathe, and decide your next move with intention. That pause is your shield against regret. It's the difference between a fight that destroys a friendship and a conversation that saves it. It's the difference between a bad decision that haunts you for years and a wise choice that shapes your future. People think power comes from speed, but in reality, true power comes from patience. The pause before you react is not weakness. It's the mark of someone who values the long game more than the thrill of the moment. Someone who chooses respect over ego and peace over pride. The pause is not about silence forever. It's about silence for a moment so you can see clearly. When your emotions are boiling, your vision is clouded. You're not thinking about consequences. You're thinking about relief. Relief from the frustration, the anger, the fear, or the embarrassment you feel in that moment. And that's dangerous because temporary relief often leads to permanent damage. The pause gives you a chance to ask yourself the questions that matter. What outcome do I really want? Will my reaction bring me closer to it or push it further away? In those few seconds, you can turn a situation around, de-escalate tension, and protect your reputation. Think about the most respected people you've known. They weren't the ones who spoke first. They were the ones who spoke last, after they understood the whole picture. The pause before you react is your opportunity to see the picture clearly before you pick up the brush and paint your part of it. Many people mistake reacting quickly for being decisive, but reacting quickly is not the same as deciding wisely. A quick reaction is just your emotions making a choice for you without your permission. A pause, however, is you taking that choice back. It's you reclaiming your authority over the moment. You might only need 3 seconds, maybe 5, maybe a full day. Whatever the length, it's your decision, not your impulses. And here's the thing, when you pause, you're not only protecting yourself from making mistakes, you're also sending a message to the world. I am not easily shaken. I do not belong to anyone's control. I think before I move. That message earns you respect in a way that no quick reaction ever could. People trust those who can stand in the middle of heat without burning themselves or others unnecessarily. In real life, those who master the pause before they react often have the most influence. Why? Because they don't get dragged into every emotional tug of war. They don't let someone's anger become their anger. They don't let someone's panic become their panic. Instead, they stand firm, they observe, and they decide what energy they're going to bring into the situation. This makes them the anchor in the storm, and people follow anchors. In arguments, they wait for everyone else to run out of noise before they speak, and when they do, their words carry more weight because they weren't thrown around carelessly. The pause before you react gives you not only control over your emotions, but also control over the tone of the entire interaction. That is influence, and influence builds respect. It's important to understand that the pause is not always easy, especially when you feel attacked, misunderstood, or provoked. Your body wants to fight, defend, prove, or escape. That's your survival instinct. But survival instincts don't care about your reputation, your goals, or your relationships. They care about the moment. And the moment is a trap if you're not careful. When you pause, you rise above the trap. You give yourself space to see that maybe the other person is projecting their pain onto you. Maybe the situation isn't as urgent as it feels. Maybe the right move is to say nothing at all. And here's the truth most people never learn. Sometimes silence is the loudest answer you can give. Sometimes not reacting at all is the reaction that leaves the deepest impression. When you start practicing the pause, you'll notice a shift in how people treat you. They'll stop pushing your buttons because they'll realize you can't be baited. They'll start coming to you for advice because you think before you speak. They'll respect you because you don't let emotions dictate your every move. And you'll start respecting yourself more too, because you'll look back at situations and realize I handled that like someone who knows their worth. That self-respect will strengthen your confidence, and your confidence will make it even easier to pause next time. It becomes a cycle. Control breeds respect. Respect breeds confidence, and confidence breeds even more control. Pausing before you react also gives you time to choose the tone of your response. You can respond with calm authority instead of heated aggression. You can respond with clarity instead of confusion. You can respond in a way that keeps the door open for future communication instead of slamming it shut forever. Words have the power to heal or to cut deep. And the pause is the difference between using that power for good or for harm. When you pause, you can decide if the situation even deserves a response. Not every comment, insult, or provocation is worthy of your time or energy. The pause gives you the freedom to walk away when walking away is the smartest move. With time, the pause becomes a natural part of who you are. At first, it will take effort. You'll have to bite your tongue, count to 5, breathe deeply, but eventually you'll train your mind to step back automatically. You'll find yourself listening more, interrupting less, and understanding more than you ever did before. You'll notice that the more you pause, the less chaos you invite into your life. Because when you don't react instantly, drama doesn't stick to you, problems shrink instead of growing, conflicts fade instead of exploding, and you get to keep your focus on what truly matters. Pausing is not about doing nothing. It's about doing the right thing at the right time. And here's the beautiful part. The pause doesn't just protect you from bad reactions, it also gives you space to create great ones. Sometimes in that pause, you'll think of something wiser, kinder, or more strategic than anything you would have said in the heat of the moment. Sometimes in that pause, you'll realize the fight isn't worth it. Or you'll see a solution you didn't notice before. That's the gift of the pause. It turns moments of potential destruction into moments of opportunity. It allows you to lead instead of follow your emotions, to choose your legacy instead of leaving it to chance. The pause is not empty time. It is the most valuable time you will ever take in your life. Calm is not the absence of emotion. It is the mastery of it. It's not about being cold, detached, or unfeeling. Calm is strength under control. Calm is a storm contained within a steady frame. In a world where everyone is quick to argue, quick to panic, quick to lose themselves in the heat of the moment, the person who can remain calm stands out like a lighthouse in the middle of a raging sea. Your calm is your power because it allows you to see clearly when others are blinded by their emotions. It gives you the advantage of thinking when others are only reacting. Calm doesn't mean you're not passionate. It means your passion works for you, not against you. When you walk into a situation and keep your composure while everyone else is losing theirs, you become the one everyone looks to for guidance. Calm doesn't demand attention, it commands it. People trust those who are steady because steadiness in chaos is a sign of strength. You can't be respected if your emotions drag you in every direction. But when you're calm, you become the anchor no one can move. And in a storm, the anchor is everything. Your calm is also a weapon, one that can disarm conflict without a single harsh word. When someone comes at you with anger, frustration, or disrespect, they expect you to match their energy. They expect you to get pulled into their emotional storm. But when you stay calm, you take away their control. They can't push your buttons if you've locked the control panel. They can't win an emotional battle when you refuse to fight on their level. Calm turns their chaos into noise that fades into the background. You don't have to outshout them, you outlast them. And here's the secret. Most conflicts are won not by the person with the sharpest words, but by the person who refuses to be moved. When you remain calm, you show that you are not a prisoner to the situation. You are the one choosing the pace, the tone, and the outcome. That's real power. Calm also protects your judgment. In the heat of emotion, your mind becomes cloudy. You miss details. You overlook solutions. You make decisions that satisfy the moment but destroy the long term. But when you're calm, you see things as they are, not as your emotions paint them to be. You can assess the facts, weigh the options, and choose the best course of action without being rushed by panic or pushed by pride. This is why calm people often make the best leaders, negotiators, and problem solvers. They don't collapse under pressure, they perform under it. Your calm allows you to hold on to logic when others abandon it, and that makes you the one with the clearest path forward. It's not that calm people don't feel stress. They just refuse to let stress run the show. They know that panic spreads quickly, but so does composure. When you keep your cool, you give others permission to steady themselves too. It's worth noting that calm doesn't mean passive. Too many people think being calm means doing nothing. No, calm means doing the right thing at the right time in the right way. It means being intentional with your words and actions. It means holding back until you're certain your move will matter. When you're calm, you can still be assertive. You can still be bold, but your actions are calculated, not reckless. Calm doesn't stop you from taking a stand. It allows you to take the right stand in the right way so that it actually works in your favor. Anyone can make noise, but not everyone can make impact. Calm ensures that when you act, it's not just reaction, it's execution with purpose. That's why calm people often win battles without ever raising their voice. Your calm is also a mirror. It reflects your self-control back to the world. People can sense when you are grounded, and that makes them respect you even before you speak. They see someone who doesn't crumble under pressure, someone who isn't pulled apart by every insult or obstacle, someone who chooses their battles and fights them with precision. And because calm is rare, it's valuable. People notice when you have it. They trust you with sensitive information. They invite you into important rooms. They see you as someone who can handle responsibility. Opportunities often go to those who can remain calm because chaos is everywhere, and those who bring peace are always in demand. Calm is contagious. Walk into a tense room with a steady tone, measured breathing, and an unshaken expression, and you'll feel the energy shift. People will start to breathe slower, voices will drop, and the temperature of the conversation will cool. This is why calm is not just personal, it's social power. Your calm influences the environment around you. You can de-escalate conflicts, keep teams focused, and prevent situations from spiraling just by controlling yourself. And once you realize that your own state of mind affects everything around you, you begin to see calm as a responsibility, not just a personal choice. But calm doesn't just help you in conflicts, it helps you in opportunities too. Excitement can make you jump at things without thinking them through. Desperation can make you settle for less than you deserve. But calm keeps you patient. Calm gives you the ability to wait for the right deal, the right person, the right moment. Calm allows you to say no without guilt and yes without doubt. It makes you immune to pressure tactics because you don't feel the need to rush. And in a world that moves too fast, the person who can slow down without losing momentum has an advantage most people will never have. Of course, staying calm is not easy. It requires training. It means you have to learn to regulate your breathing, control your thoughts, and slow your responses when you feel triggered. It means you have to be aware of what sets you off and prepare for it before it happens. It means you have to practice keeping your tone steady, even when your heart is pounding. Calm is not a gift you're born with. It's a skill you build, brick by brick, moment by moment, until it becomes part of you. And when it becomes part of you, you'll wonder how you ever live without it. When you understand that your calm is your power, you stop letting people drag you into battles that don't matter. You stop wasting energy on proving yourself to those who will never understand you. You stop making choices you'll regret just to satisfy an emotion in the moment. Calm becomes your strategy, your shield, your silent strength. It becomes the reason people respect you, the reason they listen when you speak, and the reason you keep winning, even when it looks like you've lost. Because in the end, the one who stays calm is the one who stays in control. And control is the foundation of all power. When you let someone control your mood, you hand them the remote to your entire day. You give them the power to decide whether you'll feel peace or frustration, confidence or insecurity, joy or sadness. And here's the truth. Most people don't even realize they've given that power away. One rude comment from a stranger, one dismissive look from a coworker, one careless word from a loved one, and suddenly their whole energy changes. They walk around angry, distracted, or discouraged for hours, all because they allowed someone else to dictate how they feel. That's not living. That's being controlled. The most dangerous part, it becomes a habit. Every time you let someone trigger you, you train yourself to react instead of choose. You become a puppet, and they become the puppeteer. But here's the reality. Your emotions are your responsibility. Your mood is your choice. No one can make you feel anything without your permission. The sooner you stop letting others pull the strings, the sooner you take back the steering wheel of your life. Respect yourself enough to decide that your mood is yours to protect, no matter what anyone else does. You can't stop people from being rude, unfair, or disrespectful, but you can stop them from living rent-free in your head. That's where the real battle is. Not in what they say or do, but in how long you replay it in your mind. The truth is, most people's words say more about them than they do about you. When someone lashes out, they're usually revealing their own pain, frustration, or insecurity. When you take it personally, you carry their baggage as if it's your own. And that's a weight you don't need. Learning not to let others control your mood means understanding that you don't have to participate in every emotional game someone invites you to. Just because they're angry doesn't mean you have to be. Just because they're negative doesn't mean you have to match their energy. You can acknowledge their behavior without letting it dictate your internal state. That's the difference between being reactive and being in control. One of the most freeing truths you can ever embrace is this. You are not responsible for how others act, but you are 100% responsible for how you respond. When you grasp that, you stop blaming people for making you feel a certain way, and you start taking ownership of your reactions. This is where your personal power comes from. If someone cuts you off in traffic and you let it ruin your whole morning, they've taken hours of your life you'll never get back. But if you shrug it off and keep moving, they've taken nothing. The same is true for gossip, criticism, and even betrayal. People will do what they do, but you decide